Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan is such a wonderful time for introspection. It's a great time for us to dig deep, to look inside ourselves, and to assess where we are in terms of faith. A good place to start is salah. There are so many of us who are struggling with salah. We are struggling to either pray at all or to pray 5 times a day. So let's take this time to really question ourselves, to ask ourselves, what are these barriers that we are facing that are preventing us from praying? What is really stopping us from praying? Now is such a great time to assess that, because we know in Ramadan there is no influence from shaitan. It is just us and our nafs. So let's look at that. Let's find out where the problems are and let's try to solve them. Perhaps you are struggling praying Fajr because you are someone like me who loves your sleep and you're struggling to get up in the morning. Perhaps we need to think about purchasing an alarm clock rather than using our phone and putting the alarm clock further away from us, so we have to physically get out of bed to turn the alarm clock off. And once you're up, you know you're up. So you might as well keep going after that. Perhaps you are struggling with your salah throughout the day because you are not at home and you are not feeling comfortable to pray in public. Perhaps the reason for that is you might be the only Muslim around and you feel shy or you feel embarrassed and you think everybody is going to stare at you. These are thoughts that we actually think about when we are out and praying in public. These are normal thoughts that many of us have. But now it's time to start combating those thoughts. Perhaps we are lucky enough to have a friend or another Muslim with us where we can practice praying in public. So if you try and put yourself in a situation where you purposely go and pray in public, it is always easier to pray when somebody else is with you. There's something about, having a whole number of people doing the same thing makes you feel protected, right? So perhaps in your life, you need to start praying in public with others, and that will be like your practice. Perhaps that will make it easier for you to do it by yourself when you need to. Perhaps the barrier that's stopping you from praying is that you can't make wudu. And you're out somewhere, you don't have any water, and it's time to pray, and you're like, oh, I can't pray now because I can't make wudu. I actually saw a video yesterday about a new product that has come out where it's a water dispenser that helps you to make wudu in public. Perhaps you can look into something like that. Perhaps you can take water with you for that very reason. Perhaps you can keep a prayer mat in the boot of your car so you always have that. Perhaps if you're someone who does not wear the hijab, you can have a spare hijab with you all the time, or prayer clothes with you all the time. Perhaps that will make it easier for you. The idea here is to really question yourself. Really ask yourself, and you will know what is preventing you from praying. Is it because you cannot find a space? Perhaps it's time that we need to build our confidence in asking for the things that we need. Perhaps at your place of work there is no space for you to pray and you are feeling shy to ask for a place. Perhaps we need to build our confidence in that area, to ask for what we need, to make dua and say to Allah, please make it easy for me. I want to pray, but I do not have a place. We need to start thinking about these things, and the answer will come from you. You already know what the barriers are. But I think one barrier that perhaps we don't think about or is not as obvious to us are the psychological barriers. Many of us have not been praying for a very long time, and we feel guilt and we feel shame about it, and we feel so ashamed about it that we don't feel like standing in front of Allah anymore. We feel so ashamed about everything that we have done, and we start thinking that there's no point of me even trying because I'm just such a bad Muslim. I've sinned, I've done all these things wrong. Why bother now? It's these thoughts that we need to start challenging, because these thoughts are not true. And the way to challenge these thoughts is to remember who Allah is, because Allah says to us that He will continue to forgive us for as long as we continue to ask Him for forgiveness. So it does not matter If you're continuing to do the same sin every single day, as long as you are seeking His forgiveness, He is forgiving you. There is no need to feel shame in front of Allah. Allah knows everything that you have already done. There are no secrets between you and Allah. You don't need to feel ashamed to come to Him. He is waiting for you. He loves to forgive. He is waiting for you to ask so that He can forgive you. He wants to do that for you. There is no shame between you and Allah. That shame, that is not coming from Him. If you are feeling ashamed, it just means that you are human. You feel bad about what you have done. Use that shame to propel you towards Allah rather than take you away from Him. Because I promise you, He is waiting for you. So whatever those barriers are, think about them. Think about them deeply this month, because you really have the opportunity to assess yourself and your nafs in this month. Think about what it is that is preventing you from praying your salah and start putting things in motion. These little things that you can do every single day to make it easier. Yes, today you might only be able to do that one salah, and maybe that's all that you were able to achieve today, but you keep adding on, you keep going. It's the small habits that we try to do every single day consistently that actually benefit us in the end, and Allah tells us this as well. It's the small things that we continue to do, those will have the greatest reward. I pray that Allah makes it easy for you to pray your 5 salah every single day. I pray that He puts barakah in every small effort you are making to improve your salah every single day. I pray that He puts a deep, strong, powerful desire in your heart to want to come to that prayer mat 5 times a day, every single day. May He make it so. Ameen. So I leave you with this. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please consider sharing it with others. Until the next time, Assalamu alaikum.